And welcome back to Two Coaches, One Grizz. Gentlemen, we got a jam-packed show today with NFL fireworks everywhere. Owners, teams, Tom Brady, again, trouble in paradise. Where do we want to start? Coach, let's kick it off.
Wherever we'd like. It's a blessing to be here, to be able to look at all these things, to talk, to refresh everyone's mind about the craziness of the football season all over the map.
Yeah, so this is we have some games here that we're going to talk about, but we have to jump off with the owners meeting and the two old curmudgeons of the league going at it with each other and pretty much telling each other to go shove off, right? Over
don't F with me.
Yeah, over the commissioner's new contract. If you notice, the vote was 31 to 1.
To 1.
And of course, Jerry Jones, being the dude that he is, says, no, I'm not going to vote for this because he wanted some stipulations in there. And the other 31 billionaires that were in there were like, dude, can we just get this done with?
Brother Kraft jumped in and said, listen, bro, I've got an appointment for a massage. Can we get this over with? I don't have time for this. Can we just vote? Stop being a poopy head.
Yeah.
And of course, Jerry said, hey, Bobby, don't F with me.
Here's the thing. Like, I'm kind of, reading all the stories and what went on there. I'm actually kind of surprised that, like, nobody ended up with a heart attack there in their old age. Kraft just got married this past weekend, okay? And she's about 40 years younger than him.
You would figure. Otherwise, they could barely make it up the aisle.
Correct. So, he's probably, guy's probably all tuckered out. He's a little sleep deprived. Had to give himself, had to put up a good showing.
A couple of blue pills?
A couple of blue pills. They got gummies now, though.
Oh, I'm sorry, gummy pill, whatever. Yeah,
gummies. Same difference, right? But, segue, going into that situation, who was there, Coach?
The venerable Tom Brady, the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, that's kind of weird, right? Because they had a game this past Sunday.
It was walkthrough. That guy's walked 1,000 walkthroughs. He had a walkthrough. He skipped walkthrough. What's the big deal? Bahamas, walkthrough. Come on, stop making such a big deal about everything.
See, normally, I don't think the wedding is the issue, right? But in the other 23 or whatever, how long? A quarter century?
I don't know. He's 45. He's 45.
But whatever. He's been in the league how long? 22 years?
22, 23 years.
Okay. In those other 21, 22 seasons, he would never do this. He would have led by example and said, no, F that. I'm not going. Okay? Because was the head coach of the Patriots there? No, sir, he was not. Billy Belichick was not at that wedding. Okay? So it's not so much that he went, right? That's not wrong.
It's a timing.
It's a timing of the situation. You guys are kind of sputtering as a team. And your actions speak louder than words, sir. Especially after the fact when he's on the sideline saying and screaming at his offensive line, I didn't effing leave my wife and kids.
That's a lot of F's
to be losing
That's a lot of
to
F's.
effing Kenny Pickett.
Everybody's dropping the F-bomb everywhere, huh?
Not a good look. Not a good look when you were partying with Bobby Kraft.
Maybe he wasn't partying. Maybe it was just a visit, just a hi. What's up? What's going on? Grizz, you're awfully quiet over there. I'm a little concerned. What's going on here?
Listening to the
what's going on here?
Here? I just don't understand sometimes. It's Tom Brady. You're talking about Tom Brady. We just started this show talking about the owners of the league and Tom Brady taking a little siesta on a Friday night to go see his owner, who he was with for over 20 years.
His former owner.
And if he's never done it in 21 years, guess what? He's trying something different. And guess what? He plays for the Bucks third year. First year he got him a Super Bowl. So he's already destined.
He's free rolling, baby.
He's free rolling.
He's free rolling.
He plays in the NFC South. Come on. Once again, he's going to be in the playoffs. This doesn't matter. This is a 17-game preseason leading up to the playoffs.
Okay, but time out. You're acting like him being in the playoffs is a foregone conclusion. I say, sir, not so fast. They got to win. The Steelers were able to grind out a win on them, sir. Respectfully.
Yeah. The Steelers that I told you from the beginning of the year, as bad as they're going to look this year, they're still one game behind first place, and they have a good defense. You're playing at Pittsburgh. Had he been at the walkthrough or not, they still lose. Same thing. Here's the problem, man. It's the NFL. Any given Sunday, people win games. There's certain teams that are winning games that shouldn't be winning games. Certain teams losing games that shouldn't be losing games.
Sure.
There's only 3 elite teams in the NFL. 3. Everybody else, average at best. Go.
I don't like the shade that you're potentially throwing in certain directions here.
What direction, bro?
Yeah, a lot of directions. We're going to get to it.
I have no idea.
Be specific, sir. Be specific.
Yeah, be specific.
Enough with the semantics.
Yeah, bring yourself out of the shade. Let the sun come out.
We're going to get there.
Yeah.
Now, at that same owners meeting, okay, going back to owners meeting, we did see Mr. Polian, not Mr. Polian.
Irsay.
Polian was the GM. Irsay come out and publicly address the issue with Dan Snyder.
Oh, Danny boy.
And it's kind of interesting that it was him of all people, right? Because Dan Snyder has been going around telling his friends and his confidants that let them come after me because I got dirt dug up
Those
on all of them.
Those are unsubstantiated rumors, sir. Those are rumors.
Okay, sir, rumors or not.
And he already put out a press release that said, no, I never said that.
Okay, rumors or not. I find it not funny. I guess it's kind of comical, but Irsay, of all people, who's got the most dirt of any of the owners, potentially, who has battled substance abuse, who has been fined and suspended by the league for his issues.
He doesn't care.
Coming out and saying we're not that type of league.
He doesn't
and we're gonna
care.
No, I think it was a calculated move by the owners.
The guy with the most dirt is the one who throws the first stone.
Correct.
There you go.
I think it was a calculated move. I don't think he does this under his own volition. I think this was a calculated move by the owners after the meeting saying, yo, Jim, you're the one going out there. And you're the one that's going to address the media because potentially you're the guy that they got the most cheese on. So you go out there you address it.
His cheese is already out there. But his dirt is already out there.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it was a calculated move on their part.
I'll tell you, I really think that the biggest issue with this is that the NFL keeps taking L's in the public relations side. They took an L with Deshaun, who, by the way, will be back in a couple of weeks. He's already practicing. They've taken an L with the Dan Snyder situation. They took an L or a partial L
with the Tua situation.
Not really, but that's not the NFL. They took a partial L a couple of years ago with the Rice situation. So again, these are all things that, to me, is a PR nightmare. And I think that they've got to move on Snyder. They have no other choice. They really do. And again, it's on the table about, I think, the wife taking over and Xing him out. It's already there. Because I don't think he'll sell. Because again, selling, he's going to make billions of dollars anyways. Doesn't matter. But I do think that they'll end up trying to get the wife to take over.
I mean, the Snyder situation, I think he'll be gone. The what's happening in Phoenix in the NBA, you can't exist in this climate anymore. They're coming after everybody. All the dirt in the world. If he spills the dirt on everybody, what are you going to do? Remove the entire ownership group of every team in the NFL? It's not going to happen. He ain't going to do any of that. He's going to quietly leave before things get even messier, unless he is some insane guy that wants to go down fighting and fire and all this crazy stuff. But I mean, it's just, we have football to talk about. These two ownerships. You got the battle of the Jerry and this other guy in Irsay. Who cares?
Well,
I don't care about these guys.
It is interesting, right, that there's already whispers with this coming out that the one that might swoop in and potentially pay up to $10 billion for the team is the Amazon guy himself. Bezos, right? He's already got the contract with he's already streaming the games that he is willing to pay upwards of $10 billion for the team.
Right. So then you reward this guy, hey, get out, $10 billion, even more money.
Right, but I'm saying it's like bye-bye.
What a way to go.
Right.
You know what matters? It doesn't matter to the folks. They keep watching this game. It's still the most popular sport.
No, but it does matter to the Commanders and the fan base because there are people there. There's a very loyal fan base that has pretty much sequestered themselves and said, we're not watching another game until this guy is out.
Well,
I don't think it's that many of them.
Not many.
We go back to the whole Redskins.
They lost their name of
the
80
whole Redskin,
years.
the whole Redskin controversy, I think we go back to a small group of people that continue to try to speak for the majority, and sadly, we give in to that small minority
We're not talking about Native Americans.
No. I'm talking. No, it has nothing to do with the Native Americans. Didn't mind. Most of them did not care, to be honest with you. I mean, trust me, they didn't care that it was called the Redskins. My thing is that we continue to go back, and this group, they don't care if those guys watch or not. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if they watch or not, because there's another millions of others out there watching the NFL. It's a hot commodity right now, and that is, like I said, that's why they want to do away with Dan Snyder, because of his PR on all of the.
He's
NFL.
a bad look just in general
on the whole NFL. So that's my contention.
All right, so going off of what Grizz wants to talk about, we're going to jump into some actual football that occurred on the field this weekend. We're going to go right into it. Bills, Chiefs. Grizz, you had some strong comments and feelings about this game in the last episode. Talk to me about what you saw.
Man, I'm going to be honest. I was a little bit disappointed with Patrick Mahomes. Didn't have the game I thought he was going to have. The defense actually stepped up for the Chiefs. They held this game was lower than I thought it would be. It's just, man, Patrick Mahomes. And I don't blame it on not having Tyreek Hill. You got Juju finally had a really good game. You're still going to have your games, from Kelsey, the other guys, Hardman, the rest of the crew. He made that pick at the end.
But I got to give credit. I got to give credit to Leslie Frazier, because in the fourth quarter, or in the second half, he went to a spy defense.
Yeah, he changed the game on him.
Did a phenomenal job.
Definitely.
For those of you who don't understand what a spy defense is they put one defender that looks and follows a quarterback wherever he can go. That way, if the quarterback tries to break out and run or anything like that, that player is there to tackle him, take care of it. And they unleashed Von Miller. Von had he was going in. It didn't matter because of the spy. So it didn't matter if he took the outside rush or an inside rush. They knew that as soon as Patrick Mahomes would make a move, the spy would jump on him and take care of it, which is what ended up pressuring him to throw that last-minute pick, and he stared down his receiver.
Taking it a step further, and we're talking about that pick there, what they were doing with Patrick Mahomes to get him off of his spot was they were playing a combo coverage as well. One side they were playing man, the other side they were playing like cover two. So
that allowed them to free up that, because they're only playing with 10.
Right, and it allowed
when you think of it, you only play with 10.
And it allowed them, you're talking about the spy, right? They were looping the defensive end in, and okay, he's going to move off his spot, go outside, and that spy's coming downhill. He's got to let go of the ball pretty quickly, correct, and there goes your pick right there. But
again, Mahomes is able to ad-lib so much, and that's what makes his game, it takes his game to another level, is his ability to ad-lib, to move around, to get out, to run, because he gained quite a few yards rushing.
Correct.
Until they implemented that and went to that defense. Now, with that being said, I think that they've shown their hand going forward.
Are you talking about the Bills?
The Bills. So now I think that later on when they meet again, now the Kansas City Chiefs and their head football coach,
they know what's coming,
who is the offensive coordinator, have all the film in the world.
We're talking about Jedi Master. He's a Jedi Master.
Correct. He's one of the best guys who makes adjustments and preparation. And I think that they've shown their hand, because they didn't just run it a few times. They ran it the whole second half.
Correct.
So I
think
do
they'll be able to
that.
adjust to. The only problem is you lose home field. And this is a game that I do not want to give up in an AFC Championship game in the middle of January, late January, in that snow.
So is Kansas City. Kansas City sucks.
It is, bro, but that's Buffalo. I hate Buffalo.
No.
That city, oof.
Listen.
Bad. Bad.
No, but yes, the weather's gonna suck there. Let's call it what it is. And I don't care what you say about Kansas City. Yeah, I know that it sucks in Missouri. It's not Buffalo. You're in Canada.
You're more north. You get that lake effect.
You're more north than Toronto.
Right there, I think. So,
but listen, Patrick.
Not to mention those fans. Terrible.
The Bills Mafia.
Listen,
Patrick Mahomes wasn't no slouch either. Like, his overall rating was an 85.2. Like, that's not bad. Like, we're talking about upper echelon Now
That's
he
not
did
what
throw
I'm
the
talking
two,
about. It's
and
the
that
two
was
picks.
despite the 2 picks. He did get sacked 3 times. The problem was on the other offense. Josh Allen had a 117.6 rating, sir. And
that drive where he hit the
But
backup
it's-
tight end for the touchdown. That was a hell of a throw.
listen,
That was a hell of a throw.
Listen, it's once again. I always say it's the ratings. All
I was
could be
kicking
good.
myself for not playing Dawson Knox there. But you know what? Big ups, all right, to the rest of my fantasy team for holding it down and squeaking it out against Mr. Gomes this week. So much love, one love. It's all good. And that was despite
Moving right along.
Patrick
No one
Mahomes
cares.
completely forgetting
No
that
one-
Valdez
no one cares.
Scantling was on the field.
No one cares.
Okay,
Moving right
continue on. I'm sorry. All right, what happened? I blacked out.
So as I was saying, yes, Josh Allen has shown to be, as the Grizz mentioned, the 3 elite teams, one of the 3 best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback right now, playing the game of football.
And these are 2 of the 3, by the way. Just
Correct.
to make it known.
And coach, just one last thing on the Buffalo Bills. They gotta unleash James Cook, man. I feel like they're underusing him.
I think he's struggling with the game. I think he's struggling with the playbook. I think he's not understanding blitz pickup. All those little things are what's keeping him off the field. They played him a couple weeks ago in the blowout, et cetera, et cetera. They've gone back to
The nuances is what you think.
their bread and butter guys.
He's
and
still a rookie. He's young,
Right.
and at some point, if he's good enough, he'll have a game that'll be like, wow.
it'll click. It'll click, and again.
Not to mention, it's
you
not
can't
like
take a chance.
they need him to click anytime
No,
soon.
you can't take a chance with Josh Allen, him not picking up a blitz or something like that.
Correct.
And hurting the franchise.
At this moment, you need people you could trust to make those blocks, and that's important.
Correct.
As a running back, you have to have that in your arsenal.
Fair enough. Let's jump to the other marquee game of the week, which we called here in the last episode. The Cowboys and the Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Get them.
Great finish to a great Sunday. Great weekend.
That was a phenomenal game all the way
They
through.
dominated. They played well. Jalen Hurts is really, really, really stepping up to become one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. I think the game plans. I think the head coach is doing a great job.
Yep.
I really do. I think that guy's really coming into his own. And again, he went for it once or twice in the game on fourth down, but he picks his spots
You got to pick your spots.
at the right time. The running game is going really well as well with Miles Sanders. And their defense is playing opportunistic football, getting interceptions. They're playing very well as a football team, very, very well.
The defense, you have the running game. The O-line is amazing right now. Once again, I keep harping on it. This is what I kept saying. They reminded me of the Dolphins had Tua stayed healthy. Maybe that would be what we'd be seeing.
Sir,
But
with all
you
due
got-
respect, the offensive line of the Dolphins
that's the only thing. The offensive line. That's why.
has nothing on
That's
the
why.
offensive line.
I'm saying that's why if the offensive line would kept him safe on his whatever. We have. Come on, man! You're crushing my hopes now. You
Sorry,
have
I'm just trying to-
Jalen
I'm
Hurts
trying to tell you
clicking
that
because of all the things around him.
Yes.
He is a really, really good quarterback, but he has everything around him is perfect for him right now. Served up on a platter because this team is perfect. This is my other elite team, as you should know. They defeated the Cowboys, which needed to come back from planet Earth with this Cooper Rush stuff. Like, I was getting a little annoyed with this. Listen, I'm gonna say why there's only 3 because I still don't trust the next team we're gonna talk about, even though I like them a lot. I told you, it's the only New York team I'll ever like, but they're not in the elite status yet. You know, if they are, then you'd have to say, you know, your elite quarterback yet again choked. You know, I'm once again I'm stepping ahead of myself.
Why are you going off on tangents, sir?
Because the Eagles, you know, I want them to play your Giants already and see if they're legit. But right now, I can't say enough. The Eagles' perfect season. First of all, I need them to lose already so my Dolphins can pop some champagne bottles. You know.
Listen,
I got that.
I thought, going off of what both of you were talking about, all valid points. Their defense, kind of didn't. They almost. The offense had to let them off the hook here at the end of the game, right? Because they got back into the game. It was a 24-20 game. I'm sorry, a 2017 game at the in the fourth quarter there. And Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders had to grind it out, run the ball down the Cowboys' throat. But again, it shows that they can win different types of games.
That's what they're supposed to do.
They can win the shootouts. They can win the tight ones. It also shows me that the Cowboys are a lot closer than we thought. Dak Prescott coming back. Let's see what happens. We talked about this last week. Do they fall into that trap where they get pass happy again?
Well, my situation is that, number one, what's keeping the Cowboys in these games and what's making them marquee is their defensive front. Their defensive front four and Micah Parsons. That is what's allowing them to get away and stay in games and be better than what they really are. I am not convinced that coming back is going to be the answer because of the thumb. I have to see how he throws. Don't forget that the chef, Russ, the cooking Russ,
had that happen last year.
and sucked. His whole second half of the season was horrible. Couldn't grip the ball, didn't throw right, etc., etc. So again, those are my contentions. When I see these guys and they're talking about Dak is coming back, okay, great. How is his throwing going to be? It's his throwing thumb. That puts a huge pressure on how he handles the ball, how he throws the ball, how the spin of the ball, all those little things.
Well, if you want to know, next week against Detroit, it's the perfect time to learn. You know, you got a team that you should beat with a bad thumb or not. So if he's got to play, put him in next week. Does he want to come back because he's scared of losing his job? Probably. I'm sure that's in his head. He's like, you know, what can happen?
Are they rushing him back? That's the other side of it.
I mean, listen, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be rushed back, and I wouldn't be worried.
Is he rushing himself?
Rush?
Is he rushing
Cooper
himself?
Rush was 4-0.
Okay, so then back to what you're comment.
Yeah.
Is he rushing himself back?
I believe he is.
So I mean, again, those are my concerns.
Ace,
But
Ace,
once again, if he passes everything that they see, I don't think the McCarthy and the coaching staff will put him in if they see him in practice.
McCarthy?
Well, Joe,
did you just mention McCarthy?
AC
Oh, man, I
stats
got
Does it
both.
make it like a smart move?
you need to look this up for me.
Hello?
You should be able to see if a guy can throw the ball.
Listen, I think
McCarthy?
you guys can. We got to look this up, but I think they were winning in spite of that dude because I think it was something like 69 possessions and they only had 8 offensive touchdowns while he was on the field. So yes, he might have been 4-0, but that was defense, Poppy, all day long.
It's 4-0.
Of course not. Listen, let's not take away from the truth. For them to really
The defense,
step
of
up,
course, is winning.
for them to step up and go to the next level and really say, okay, we're here to win a Super Bowl, Dak has to play and be able to make plays. Because if Dak can't do that, they become one-dimensional. You're going to count on Cooper Rush, and you guys saw what Cooper Rush under pressure.
They're going to end up not winning anything anyway with any quarterback when they get to the first round of the playoffs and they choke again. It's irrelevant. So to me, I know we have to talk about it because we have no choice, but this is what we do. Fill in the time. This is the filler episode.
This is the filler? Is filler? Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Anytime we talk about teams like the Cowboys, to me,
Moving right along.
Go to your boys.
Giants, Ravens, baby. Giants 5-1. They beat the Baltimore Ravens
with the elite quarterback.
Hey, baby.
Lamar Jackson.
Hey. That's not this episode.
We're not. We're mentioning the Giants and the Ravens.
We're focusing on the 5-1.
Elite has been kind of the word of this episode.
Am I not off?
So here we are. Let's talk about the eliteness that is Lamar freaking Jackson.
All right, you go ahead. You go ahead while I look this
I got
up.
nothing else to say. The guy's amazing. Talk about him. How did he lead his team again to a win?
Oh, okay. Well, yes, thank you. Cooper Rush threw 5 touchdowns total in those 4 games.
Yeah, 4-0.
With 3 picks, right? There you go. All right, back to the Giants.
Including the Eagle game? He had 3 picks before the Eagle game or with the Eagle game? Because he had 3 picks in the Eagles, so that's probably it.
Yeah.
Okay, Lamar.
Yeah, so he had no picks. That kind of helps too.
Against the 5-1 Giants, who have proven to be a good football team.
That's
this is not just a fluke.
That's another fraud team.
Lamar was 17 of 32, 195, 6.6 average, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
They're going to be a 9-1 fraud.
He got sacked twice. Daniel Jones, on the other hand, was 19 of 27, 155, and 2 touchdowns. We got sacked 4 times, though.
So Daniel Jones outplayed Lamar Jackson?
No, he did not outplay him, sir.
No? You sure?
More overall yards for Lamar.
Well,
Anyways, That's not the point here. The point is that the Giants
The
are 5-1.
friggin' Ravens
happened,
blew the game. They should have won again. They keep blowing leads in the second half.
Blasphemy.
Fourth quarter. That's disgusting.
This is blasphemy.
No, those are the facts.
Blasphemy. Anyways,
But
I think the Giants got their guy.
What do you
I don't
mean?
think we're long term.
He did not
You know
play
what?
him.
I agree. Whenever you hold
He
a
did
team
not-
to under
how did he not
250
how did he not
yards of
outplay
total
this guy?
offense, you shouldn't win, right? Because the Giants had a paltry 238.
Yeah.
230 and the Baltimore
got
Ravens
outplayed,
had
though.
406 yards of offense.
Lamar got outplayed though. This
Again,
looks to me an outplayed.
The Giants are a fraud. You heard it here first.
The Giants are a fraud. They're going to be 9-1, probably fraud by the time they play the Cowboys. But they kind of are still not. They're good, but they're not going to end up being elite. You know what I'm saying?
You are what your record says you are.
Yeah.
Sir.
They have 4 winnable games. They're going to be 9-1, I
Respectfully.
think.
Sir, they're the most luckiest team in the NFL.
That's bad.
Absolutely.
That's bad English.
And sadly, luck runs out in the NFL.
Nah.
Sooner or later, it comes
As
to
long
roost.
as they got Barkley, they have shots here. And as long as Daniel Jones keeps outplaying people like Lamar Jackson, they got shots.
Okay, you want to hear the realness right now? I'm going to give you the realness. I think that they have proven themselves to be a very well coached team. They play great situational football. Okay, and their third downs, third and mediums, third and long. They make the plays they need to make. They run great schemes. Defensively, yes, teams, and not just the Ravens, all the teams that they've played this season have been able to gain yards on a legit, on a large clip.
They're a bend but don't break
On a
defense.
large clip this year. But when it comes time for them to make the stops, they make those stops and they play, again, like I said, phenomenal situation football, which is a hallmark of a well-coached team, you have not seen.
They may drop 2 in a row here.
Which you have not seen,
At
gentlemen.
Jags and at Seahawks are
You
not
haven't
winnable,
seen-
though?
They may
In the
drop
last
2 in a
4
row.
They may, but they're not winnable?
They may drop 2 in a row, sir.
They might. I don't think they lose those 2 games.
I think they lose to Jacksonville this week, and I'm taking Jags points.
No, sir.
Wow.
We're laying 3 with the Jacksonville Jags.
Again, great coached, well-coached team. They got their guy.
They're well coached.
Don't know if they got their guy for the future under center, and I don't think Saquon sticks around. I think Saquon finds money elsewhere, to be honest with you. But they do have their coach. They do have the guy that they need. Okay? Yes? Anything?
No, the Giants suck, but let's move on.
All right, moving along.
Wow.
All right, we'll see that. How your Raiders doing? Yeah.
Oh, we're doing what I said they would do.
Okay.
I told you they'd suck.
Okay.
There's nothing
Dolphins,
surprises
Vikings,
there.
Grizz. This is all you, baby.
I mean, where do I start with this game? Third game that we lose our quarterback that started the game. The guy I think should be the actual backup for this team because I love Skyler. I think he plays very, very well. He's hungry, young. I think Teddy's Teddy. I've been saying it since day one. Teddy's just happy to be holding the clipboard, collecting a couple bucks. And if he has to play, sure, he'll get in there. But I think Skyler's the guy that is the younger, better quarterback. Obviously, this has shown me one thing, and something I knew already. This team is better off with Tua. The moment Tua comes back, we're a better football team. Best chance to win football games is with Tua. Even with this game, we should have won. The whole first half, defense played spectacular, 3 and out. We had one drive that you guys are coaches. This must drive you insane. Those 5 penalties on that one drive that kept getting first downs and kept getting called back. I mean, at one point I saw in the fourth quarter they had 8 total penalties. I'm like, hold on. They've only had 3 penalties since that infamous drive. I mean, you could tell at one point the big play would come. Of course, that happens. Going to take the lead, Waddle fumbles, 2 plays later, Cook scores a touchdown, game's over. It was just that kind of game. We should have played Kirk Cousins at night. Would have been a better chance on primetime.
That was the key to the game.
I know having a 1 o'clock game with Kirk Cousins is a nightmare.
Good.
A nightmare.
It sure is.
That's when you see the best of him. And he wasn't that good. He just wasn't. The team, they were beatable.
He was just good enough.
They were beatable.
No, they should have. They should have lost.
They were beatable. It was, had we had you don't blame it. on the quarterback situation, but you kind of, we lose the third guy. We got to bring back Teddy, and Hill played amazing. Waddle, man, got to hold on to that ball. That's all. That's all I got.
As my better half said, you know you're going to get hit. Protect yourself with the ball. What are you doing? Those were the exact words. Yeah. As they were driving down to try to tie the game.
Goo.
So, but no, and again, that's another team it's a little bit. Minnesota is at this moment somewhat fraudulent. Even though they're leading their division, they are somewhat fraudulent. They're not really winning the way they're supposed to be winning. Their luck is coming into play a lot.
I heard this somewhere else. They at 5-1, they're underachieving. They should be a better 5-1 team than they are showing.
Correct.
They better be happy that right now it's trouble in paradise for A-Raj and company, because
they might back into being the division winners there.
I mean, like I said, I still have faith in my pack, but jeez, man, how do you lose to?
I hope so, because we got them winning that division.
How do you lose to the Jets?
So there's a lot of people losing to the Jets.
That's 3 seconds.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people losing to the Jets, sir.
Moving along, we're gonna jump right into this week's slate of games. I think we touched on it. So the only game that jumps out at me this week is Kansas City, San Francisco. That's pretty much it. I think the rest of the week we can just take it off.
You don't like Houston at Vegas?
You may like them.
I think that's a great game.
You may like them.
Game. Tampa Bay and Carolina? Wow.
Grizz.
I'm searching. Nope, don't see anything. Even my Dolphin game doesn't look intriguing to me.
The Packers at the
reason the Dolphin game does look
Redskins?
intriguing to me, it is a primetime game against the Steelers, and we're using the throwbacks for the 50th anniversary of the perfect season. And you know me and Unis, I like that. I'm going to say this. To me, the most fun game looks like the Falcons at Bengals. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring in that game. Other than that, this is a...
This is a filler week.
Oh, this is a filler week.
Definitely a filler week. I mean, look at the teams that are on the bye.
You could go to brunch with the family this week. You don't need to start the first half of the
Buffalo,
game.
Los Angeles, Minnesota, and Philadelphia.
Ay, Dios mío.
Those are, I mean, you got...
The Thursday night slate not looking hot.
You got 3 division leaders in there that are on bye. So, hey, everybody, a good night. We're done here.
Only thing interesting about Thursday night this week is Hopkins is coming back to the Cardinals. Which, by the way, I would like to talk about Robbie Anderson.
The immediate and effective trade of Robbie Anderson.
I want to be Antonio Brown trying to get loud on the sideline, but you get sent off immediately the next day because you're not that good.
Bye-bye.
And then luckily, he goes to a team that kind of needs you right now because Hollywood Brown went down.
Right.
Hopkins is coming back, and they're in need of something. So hopefully you can you do something there.
Watch Robbie Anderson become a Pro Bowler there.
I would love that.
I'm not going to lie to you. I highly doubt it. He has the tools, but I don't think he's got the work ethic. I mean, that's a guy that I've looked at for years when he played with the Jets. Yep. And he's never panned out to be a ball, any kind of baller at all. And nothing.
The quarterback situations there haven't really, helped out either.
But even with that, there's receivers. There's good receivers with bad quarterbacks that make plays, that find a way to get open and run either by running good routes or just by pure speed are able to be effective as a receiver.
Right.
Robbie's lost in the mix.
100%.
I see why this week sucks. Bills, Rams, Vikings, Eagles are all on bye.
Didn't I just say that? Did I just say that? Wow.
You just said that?
There's a parrot here.
You said that?
Sometimes we ignore what you say, bro.
Yeah,
I
did actually.
I get that.
I totally did not hear you say that.
I get that. I can see that.
It just goes with the flow.
Look, and I apologize since you've done it probably a few times to some of us here.
It's incredible.
We don't have to mention it. That's
on that note.
That's our thing.
We'll be right back with some college football talk. And we're back with our college football segment so we can hear the Grizz gloat about his phenomenal pick this past week. Grizz, would you like to gloat? Go ahead, sir.
I don't gloat, sir. I just pick what I tell you is the right thing to pick. And the right thing to pick was Tennessee beating Alabama. I told you it was the easiest pick of the week.
Written in stone, he said. The
It
man
was
said,
written in stone. It was
Book
written
it's
in
over.
stone.
Book it.
Doesn't matter how we get to the destination, we got there. And Tennessee, from the start of the game, showed you they were not going to fall apart. This was going to be that kind of game.
Sir, they almost fell apart.
Sir, do you see the score?
I know, 52-49. But sir, they almost fell apart.
Almost doesn't do anything. Almost doesn't get you in the door to anything.
one would say they did fall apart to get back to get it.
I just told you, I don't care how we get to the destination of the road trip. You have to take detours sometimes. You don't go on a straight line.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Correct.
Okay.
This
That
clock
game
was right,
a game
and
a
that's
game.
it.
Listen, I'm not going to make any excuses. Good call. Tennessee won. We'll see how far they get. We'll see at the end of the road where Alabama's at, and we'll move from there. I know that they beat them. I still think that Alabama should have won the game, but whatever the case is, they are the victors.
Another proclamation: Alabama will lose a game before the championship, if they even make it to the championship.
Wow, this guy getting...
Maybe Mississippi State.
This weekend, you think?
Back to back. I think the end of Nick Saban is about to happen.
The Nick Saban era is over? You're calling the Nick Saban era?
This is the
beginning of the
smallest.
end.
This is the smallest of the crumbling of the next 5 years.
So you're saying there's cracks.
Absolutely.
There's chinks in the armor.
Yep. Don't give up 17 penalties. Not the best coach game.
That is one thing that I was sorely disappointed.
Yep.
There were way too many penalties to be able to play championship football. And that game was one of those games where you had to play championship football. I do think that the refs were a little bit one-sided. But again, you can't give up that many stupid penalties because they had a bunch of stupid penalties.
The losses they have every year, they've had like a one loss every year that they lose, just the Texas A&M, something. But usually when they play the team that was ranked 6th, that they know they got to beat this team, they usually win that game. And that's what I'm saying. Undisciplined, I think it's about to happen. Everybody else is getting better finally. And it's about to start crumbling down. We're about to see the difference of teams taking over in the NCAA, and this is one of those small little building blocks.
Is he talking? It sounds like he's talking about like the Roman Empire starting to crumble.
Right? No, like I said,
this is the modern Roman Empire.
I'm not 100% sold on that. I think that as the next few weeks go on, I think they'll tighten up, and I do think that they'll be back in the championship run.
All right, moving along to coach's pick of the week, Michigan Penn State. You loved that game this weekend.
No, I love their offense. I think that they do a great job with how they run it. I think their defense is extremely underrated, and that's one of the best defenses in the country. Again, a little backstory on that. The coordinator there last year moved on to become the coordinator with the Baltimore Ravens. And what happened was 2 years ago, they interviewed 2 guys for the job. The guy that got it last year and the young man that's there now. The young man that's there now stayed with the Ravens. And then when this opportunity came open again, Harbaugh's brother told him, hey, if you want. And he goes, yeah, let's go, bring him over. And he hired him. And they're just following suit from last year. They do a great job of mixing coverages, the blitzes. Again, their defense is very underrated.
Defense is great, but also I love how they haven't really missed a beat on offense either. I love the mixture of the counter game with the power game with some of the T game that they have. It is, if you know football, it's some really impressive stuff to watch.
And again, that's one of the things I'm concerned with here in Miami. I don't know if Cristobal and Mirabal will buy into that. They're big zone guys, and Gaddis comes from that gap scheme. I would really love to see us run more of what Michigan runs. Well, and we have tight ends. Again, every year we bring in good tight ends. I don't know if our tight ends just can't block or what it is, but that Michigan offense is amazing.
Well, here's my frustration with that, coach, is if you're going to bring in Josh Gaddis to be your offensive coordinator, to steal a term that we were using earlier in the show, why don't you let him cook? if you're hiring him as the offensive coordinator and he's a gap scheme guy that is a counter heavy, power running offensive coordinator, why aren't we letting him do that? If you don't want to run that, then why did we hire him in the first place? That's my question. I mean, is that not a fair question to pose?
Listen, I agree with that. And like I said, that's why I love watching those guys. That offense it's nice because it's a change of pace. Everybody's a zone team. They're not just a zone team. As you mentioned, they marry 2 or 3 different philosophies or schemes together, and they run it really well. Then their quarterback, when he play actions and he throws, guys are wide open. So, whatever. Like I said, it was a great victory. It was at the big house. Like I said, if it was at Penn State, I would have been a little bit more worried. But I knew that Penn State, with our boy Manny, would give up a bunch of points. He would try blitzing and get caught. And that's exactly how the game played out.
You got a little too excited, huh?
Yeah, like I said, and again, I do believe in blitzing, but I think he does it too much. He did it too much here, and that's how he gets caught.
Yeah, jumping to the Big 12, Oklahoma, Kansas. Oklahoma bounces back with a big win against number 19 ranked Kansas, 52-42. Grizz, take it away. I know this was a game for you that you wanted us to watch.
I mean, I just felt Kansas, even with their backup quarterback, would give them a game. Oklahoma finally woke up. Took them 3 games in a 3-game losing streak. Once you saw that game start 7-7, you're like, oh, this is going to be one of these games. And then
it's going to be a Big 12 game.
Yeah. And then I'm like, the first team that doesn't score is going to lose. And sure enough, Kansas let them get a 28-14 lead. They got it close back there at the end, but the whole time you knew that, okay, they finally got their offense rolling. They got their quarterback back, I
think it was big with Dylan Gabriel coming back.
They had their quarterback back. Kansas
did not.
Kansas is not. And like I said, the backup quarterback has at least shown that the season's not dead. They have a chance, I think, to end up.
The thing with the backup quarterback is he doesn't have the wheels.
No.
That Daniels has at quarterback, and that's a big part of what they were doing. They were doing a lot of good runs and using the quarterback to run the ball.
But you got the offense at least is still clicking.
Right.
The problem's going to be the defense. That's what,
And the
you
Big
have
12,
the other quarterback in, they probably still lose.
Right. No, the Big 12, the offenses all are high powered.
So, I mean, I thought it was a fun game to watch at the beginning. They were part of the parlay. It didn't matter anyway because as coach eloquently Michigan put a little ending there in the second half. I had them up 17-16 though, third quarter. But it doesn't matter because it almost doesn't count.
Got to play 4 quarters.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But Kansas pushed that for me anyway, so it didn't matter.
All right, well, let's go and jump to the...
Told you the easy pick was Tennessee.
Yes, it was. It was. You're right.
Let's go and jump to the Pac-12 here. The Utah Utes upsetting the USC Trojans.
Was it an upset, though?
43-42.
Was it an upset?
I mean, sir, USC was ranked number 7.
But that doesn't... Who was favored? Utah was favored.
Remember, it's not about ranking, sir. In Vegas, the size of the points.
Yes, sir. Utah was favored.
And the book said Utah was a favorite. And all year, this should have been the game that we were looking forward to be the team to put a Pac-12 team back in the playoffs. Unfortunately, Utah had laid a couple eggs early. USC, I told you I wanted them to win just purely because it would have set up an amazing matchup of, I think, potential unbeatens. Well, one now lost. We'll see about UCLA. But it was a fun game, and guess what? Sometimes going for 2 at the end, you take the chance. See, you're the hero when you get it, and you're not the hero when you don't.
That was a gutsy call.
It definitely is a gutsy call.
They were at home.
And remember, it's usually the road team that likes to.
I was just going to ask. That's where I was going.
The home team goes, let me tie it. We got the overtime. We're going to take it. But once again, that's a feel. Remember, I'm sure he's an analytic guy too.
Nah.
But it's also feel because I don't care about the numbers. I think technically I would have gone for the tie there. And probably, I like the aggression.
Correct. I agree. When I saw him go, I was like, wow, this is a ballsy play. Because going for 2 there, when you have the game tied up and your defense isn't playing too bad. I mean, you've given up 42 points, but you're playing USC, who is balling.
I think that's also the thing that he saw. The points on the board.
Correct.
There's going to be a lot of scoring. Let's get it done right now.
No, and you know what? And to a certain extent, it puts a little pressure on USC to have to try to move the ball and score and throw, and it makes them one-dimensional.
I don't remember. Do you remember the play call? Because I remember being...
It was a pass, but then the quarterback broke and ran it in.
Because I always say, if you're going to do that, it needs to be the play that you have circled, and this is my play. This is the play.
This is your go-to.
Don't run it up the middle kind of play. Some people do these.
No.
That's the play we wanted to run. No.
Wasn't inside
you make it the play because this is for all the marbles.
No, again, and I think that quarterback stepped up big in that game. I think that young man, that drive, keeping up, making the throws that he made, I think that showed that kid's a gamer.
He had some marbles.
Yeah. He had some moxie, baby. Had a little moxie.
I'm not gonna lie.
Panache and debonair.
Yes.
Not gonna lie. It's kind of hard to lose when you have like players on your helmet that you've lost. You gotta win those games. I mean, that's another thing. I saw College Game Day. They had something for Michigan. A young man that.
Oh, that was hard.
It's heartbreaking, but I also gotta realize, these people don't lose games like that. Come on, you gotta go with that.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
you gotta roll with that one.
Heart wins all the time.
And we're going to mop things up here with Syracuse, NC State. Kudos to the coach for calling this one. Give it to me, Coachy.
Let me tell you, these guys having Leary hurt has just derailed their whole season.
Promising.
That kid was a preseason All-American, and him being out for the rest of the year, NC State's not going to do much else. They might not win another one. We'll see. Their defense is good. Solid, but I'm going to tell you, Syracuse, I like Syracuse. I said it last week. The offensive coordinator, quarterback coach that came over from Virginia doing a great job with Schrader. Their running back, Tucker, he's a horse. This weekend's going to be a great game.
Yeah. They basically, NC State said, all right, we're not going to be able to do it, Syracuse. We're handing it off to you. You guys be the dark horse.
This is going to be a great game with Clemson.
Yep.
At Clemson. And I think that's where Clemson lucks out. Both of these games are at home, but that's going to be a big game. I think it's going to be a big game.
If it's every 2 years. I think it was 4 years ago that Syracuse pulled off an upset against Clemson in Clemson. So
let me tell you something. And
don't be too.
I look at Jack Chambers' numbers, and he passed for more yards than I thought he was going to.
That's your little option quarterback.
Yeah, the triple option quarterback. Like, what the F were they doing? Hey, this is our backup. We're going to toss it around the yard, but we're going to go with the backup that was a triple option quarterback for 4 years at Charleston Southern. Yeah, it still doesn't meld in my head like how they thought that made sense. Because you're one play away, and they showed it.
Maybe the kid came in, showed some potential, and they took a shot at him.
Listen, because the QB1 at the beginning of the season tossing around the yard, baby. That's how they were winning. And all of a sudden, now you go to this guy who's midline, veer, triple, dive option.
You better be able to run that if you get him, and they didn't.
Okay, let's regroup here. Going on to this week's slate of games. What are we looking at, gentlemen? Talk to me.
I just mentioned the game to me that's going to be one of the better games of the weekend. And Grizz alluded to the fact that Syracuse did surprise Clemson at Clemson a few years ago. Clemson is 8-1 straight up, but they are 6-3 ATS against Syracuse. Syracuse plays very, very, very well against them. There's only been a couple of games, I think, that has been more than 2 touchdowns. For whatever reason, Dino Barber they do an amazing job of playing them. They're 3-1 ATS at Clemson. They've covered 3 out of 4 games. I really like them a lot. They're 5-1 again. ATS is playing them, so the game is going to be close. I think the quarterback does a good job. I think Orlando Godson is doing a phenomenal job. They run the ball well. It's going to be a slobber knocker.
13.5 is too much.
Yes, I took those.
I got Syracuse covering there.
Yeah, I took them at 13.5. I took them at 14, and it came back down to 13.5. So, like I said, I think that game is going to be a really, really good game. And Syracuse defense plays. Syracuse brings their defense with them. They play.
Defense travels.
Correct.
I want to mention the game that I had already even touched on Twitter earlier this week that you were surprised about. The UCLA-Oregon game.
Oh, had that one circled.
That one right there, Chip Kelly finally has the team rolling. This was one half of the dream matchup for the undefeated LA teams that were going to play before they left the Pac-12, but didn't happen. But I still think UCLA, I personally think they're going to money line, beat them outright. You said already you are troubled by this game. Please explain to the crowd out here why.
First and foremost, as I've said many times before, Vegas does not like to give away money. Vegas does not want you to win.
They do not open up their pocketbooks and say, take my money.
No, they don't.
You got to earn it.
They don't. So when you see Oregon -6, and you're like, oh my God, this is too good to be true. 99% of the time it is. Sadly, I'm walking into this with the 1%ers.
Mm-hmm. Suckers bet.
I'm taking the sucker bet. I really am. I'm very, as the Grizz alluded to, I'm very impressed with what Chip Kelly's done the last 5 years. Their quarterback is a 5-year starter. He's a stud. I don't have enough accolades for that kid right now. He's a good athlete. He throws the ball really well. Chip is doing a great job with formations. Their defense isn't a whole lot to be cracked about. So we'll see how that works out. That's my only concern. I just don't see Oregon beating them by 6. Oregon has quietly put together a nice little season after getting crushed by Georgia. But again, I mean, I did. I took them +6. I took a little smaller bet. I took a smaller bet money line because I do like them to win. They should be able to win the game, but I am very, very concerned.
My only concern, they've been home all year. Their only road game was at Colorado, which might as well have been home. So it's the only reason I'm not as worried. It is a road game, and it is a road game in Oregon where Chip Kelly used to be the coach. Well, have you said it? He's been there 6 years. They've played Oregon already a bunch of times. This is already old news.
And Oregon has dominated. Oregon has the upper hand, winning and covering. And
however,
during the Cristobal years,
this is their best. This is the best UCLA team they will be playing.
This is Lanning's first year, so I'm hoping that the continuity comes together for Chip, and Chip is able to squeak one out. If he wins by 1. It'll be a phenomenal day.
That's all that matters.
If he loses by 3, it'll be an okay.
That's all that matters, baby.
I think it's a field goal either way. Obviously, I think they win, but I think once again, suckers bet. I think you cover this as well.
And there goes our preview of the deep dive. We're going to cover this next segment. We're going to be right back with just that. And we're back to close out the show. We're going to actually start here with some UFC. We have a phenomenal card this weekend and I had mentioned this to Coach off the air earlier in the day. This is it's interesting. They're in Abu Dhabi, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes,
and they're going head to head with college football this weekend, right? The card starts at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
This card starts at 10 a.m. Main event is at 2 p.m. ish. So that's pretty interesting. But Coach, take it away here. See what we got.
I mean, we have not touched up on the UFC in a while. We've been really focused on football, and that's taken up most of our time. But this card is a phenomenal card. There's some good fights on the undercard. The main card is spectacular. You got Charles Oliveira defending his title against Islam Makhachev. Islam is the favorite. It's going to be a tough fight. I think that's going to be a great main event. We have Aljamain Sterling taking on TJ Dillashaw. I've sprinkled a little something on Aljamain Sterling. Dillashaw is pushing 36, 37 years old. He's getting old, a little long in the tooth. I think Aljamain takes him and beats him as tough as TJ is. Sterling has a nice reach advantage. He's also a good grappler. So I think that's going to be a phenomenal, again, another good fight. The third fight in the main card is Peter Yan against Sean O'Malley. This is O'Malley's big chance to come out. Again, O'Malley has a long reach advantage. I don't know if he's in the caliber of Peter Yan yet. I have not seen O'Malley be at this stage of the game. I'm not convinced with the last couple of fights. I think his last couple of fights left a lot to be desired. And yet Peter Yan has just gotten better and better with each fight. That little guy is a powerhouse. And I think he wins the fight. The next fight, I'm taking the underdog. It's Beneil Dariush against Mattis Gamrot. Gamrat's only lost one fight. Dariush is 21-4. Dariush has a little bit more experience. They're pretty even in everything. Dariush has 2-inch reach advantage, inch and a half. So again, it's going to be a good fight. I just think the odds are a lot. You're getting $160, $170 plus money. So it's a shot on him because I think he can pull off the upset. And the last card in the main event is Caitlin Chukagan against Manon Fiorot. The Italian chick is the real deal.
I'm just impressed that you got that one right because my next comment was gonna be can we pronounce that one correctly?
We've been working on it, sir. We've been working on our enunciation. But Chukagan is a popular fighter. She is good. She fights well, but Fiorot is out of it's as we say in Spanish, fuera de liga. She's out of the league. Huh? Yeah, she's out of hand. She's tough. She's a puncher, and she's just a tough chick. I mean, I'd be worried about seeing her in a back alley somewhere. She does give up 3 inches of reach advantage, so we'll see how that works out.
It should be interesting. I mean, I think I'm gonna have to go back and forth on this during the day. Watching definitely. Watching some football and going this. I might have to go 2 screens.
Look, I'm gonna tell you another one. I just took it today. I ended up taking Bilal Muhammad at plus 120. It's already down to plus 105. Again, it's another savvy veteran. He's not too old. He's at a good age. He's fighting a young buck. And I think that's going to be another good fight on the undercard. And I think Bilal Muhammad wins it.
Very interesting. Yeah, no, this is, I mean, the main event is going to be solid.
It's a tremendous card.
I mean, it's going to be dope. So, yeah, I think I'm 2 screening it this weekend for sure. Wife's not going to be happy. But let's go ahead and jump into the deep dive, Coacher. Man, what do we got?
What a great,
hey, hold on. Everybody, can we give him a round of applause? No?
Last week the deep dive went really, really well.
There it is.
We went 7-3 in college ball. We ended up going 3-0 in the NFL. It was just a good weekend for us. We even gave out an earlier play during the week. We gave out a small play on Washington money line in the under.
That hit.
So that hit as well. We just had a great weekend overall. Things really worked out for us. We're sticking to the plan. We're sticking with what we got. And we're also going to throw a little parlay at y'all. The little stinky fish fry parlay from the deep dive. This week, we jumped on K-State plus 5 against TCU. It's already down to 3.5. So it's moved well for us there. We already discussed the money line and the point spread on UCLA. I'm a little worried about that game. Hopefully we'll see how that works out. We're on Northern Illinois plus 2. I think that their quarterback came back, Rocky Lombardo. He played at Michigan State a few years ago. He's been in Northern Illinois.
Wow.
And he comes back. He's been hurt for a couple weeks. Came back last week. They completely annihilated Eastern Michigan. I think they win again this week. So I like them. That line is also moved. We took Marshall plus 13 against James Madison. I think Marshall's getting too many points there. I think it's going to be a tough game, but I do think Marshall will be able to cover the spread. We took a smaller play on Nevada plus 7 against San Diego State, just because we don't think San Diego State should be laying 7 to anybody. I don't think they can lay anything on anyone. They already laid enough as it is with their players in the off-campus parties.
They've laid some eggs.
Yeah, they've already laid a few things on off-campus parties. I don't think that's the right play.
Oof.
We took UAB plus 2.5. That's a Friday night game. That line has moved, and it's even going to a pick'em. It's against South Alabama at South Alabama. We think UAB has a good chance of playing there. We mentioned the Syracuse game. We do think 13.5, 14 is way too much. I think they stay closer than that. We're also taking the Louisiana Monroe against the Army. Army's laying 7. We took the 7.
You're so disgusting,
sir.
The cadets?
Sir, sometimes you gotta. I told you gotta take the uglies. You gotta take the uglies. Look, Pittsburgh plus 8.5 last week against Tampa Bay came through. And our stinky fish parlay it's always gonna be a minimum of 4 teams. We got 4 teams this week.
Stinky fish parlay.
We got Eastern Michigan plus 2.5. We're gonna take Navy plus 3 against Houston. We're taking the Iowa Hawkeyes plus 29 versus Ohio State at the shoe. And last but not least, the cream of the stinky fish is FIU plus 14.5. They're at Charlotte. Charlotte shouldn't be laying 14.5 to anyone. Again, it's not about the team. It's about the points. $25 play on that will pay you $250. It's 10-1 odds.
You like yourself right now. You're feeling yourself.
No,
right now.
listen. To be honest with you, I know that the Grizz always at. He's a parlay guy. He likes parlays and stuff. And what I did was these 4 teams are 4 teams that are getting 35% or less of the bets, but more of the money. So that's what we're focusing on with that. And we also took into account point spreads and things like that to make sure that we have a shot. I'm not a parlay guy. I don't. One team loses, you're out. I'm more of a straight player. I'm going to go ahead and give out one of our NFL plays today before the line moves, just so you can get it. And, I mean, I still think there's some 5.5s available. Washington plus 5.5 against Green Bay at home, I think is a play. And then I'm going to post the other 4 plays. 1, 2, 3. Now the other 3 plays will be on Twitter.
Sir, I have one point of contention for you.
Yes, sir.
You just created a new sub-segment in Stinky Fish Parlay. You are a parlay guy now.
I'm not a parlay guy. I give out parlays. I will dabble into it. It's not something that I do all the time. But again, I know some of our listeners like them. I know that, and this is the thing. They're big winners, but that's why Vegas gives you the money.
Right.
Because like I said a little while ago, they don't give away free money. Parlays are hard to hit. You need multiple teams to win. The more teams you add to your parlay, the harder it is for you to win it. And that's why they entice you with such nice payouts.
Of course. It's playing a lotto ticket. You're just taking a chance sometimes.
So,
Grizz, do you have any?
Of course, I have something.
Stinky? Do you have your own?
I don't have no stinky nothing.
You have a dirty Grizz. You have a dirty Grizz parlay?
I just have the Grizz. I have my 3-teamer. I'm always a 3-team kind of guy. I don't know. I like threesomes. Let's see here. We got. I'm going with 2 of the Gills though, because these were 2 of mine in my head, and this week we have synergy. I'm going with UCLA to cover. I'm going with Syracuse to cover. And then I'm going with the third. I was going to go in the NFL. What a week in this NFL, let me tell you. It's not looking lovely.
some winners out there, buddy. There's some winners.
Nah, I mean,
got to dig a little deeper. There's some winners.
I'm trying to do the Gilski. Nah, but I had in my head this Falcons Bengals game was going to be fun. Falcons. Money line. Outright win.
Ooh, it's a hell of a call.
Wow!
Oh, wow. Oof.
That's how we do it.
Wow! Are we good there?
Yeah, I'll be all right. I just got to get some water.
Yeah, there's a punch in the gut.
I mean, they're only a 6.5 dog. They are both 3-3 teams. It's not like I'm trying to.
No, I get you.
Change the world here.
I get you.
Pop my shoulder out again.
I get you.
That one.
You know.
Wow.
Bengals did lose to the Steelers.
They did. They did. But they're at home this week, so that's a tough.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
All right, so let's. We got to recover from that one. Let's finish off the show here with.
Falcons just beat the Niners.
I would rather if you took a plus 6, but that's
did.
fine. That's a good call.
Let's finish off the show here with some NBA talk. NBA
That's
season
why we leave
is,
the NFL last week and hedge our bets, sir, if we need be.
NBA season is underway. Grizz feels strongly about his Miami Heat as always, as right now he is wearing a Miami Heat shirt here, and he wants to close out the show with some NBA talk.
I mean, I think it's only. I'm not gonna lie. I'm even gonna do some MOB talk since we forgot some of that love because there was a big upset in the playoffs. All right, I just want to touch on that after because I don't forget things for the kids. But NBA starts yesterday. As we were taping this, we have the full slate of the rest of the games. Heat playing right now, down 13 to the Bulls. It just feels like every time they open against the Bulls, they lose.
It's a struggle.
It is a weird struggle, but that's fine. Rest of the year, we got this. However, I still think it's the NBA. You know who's coming. This is the easiest league to pick. The top 5 teams is always the top 5 teams. And it's going to be, you're going to have Milwaukee, you're going to have the Heat, You're going to have the Warriors. You're going to have the Celtics. And the only team I was thinking Suns this year, but
There's a lot of stuff going on there.
There's a lot of, there's some stuff happening there. I'm actually going with the Nuggets as my fifth team.
Ooh, I like that pick.
But I mean, to play in the it'll be Nuggets and Warriors, I think, and Heat Bucks.
Listen, I like that pick.
Those are my
because I was on the Jamal Murray train for the past couple
when he's healthy
seasons.
And that team is all healthy.
And
they are a scary team.
Before he tore his ACL,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna excuse my language here, but he was the definition of going ape shit in the playoffs before he tore his ACL there, and then we lost him for the entire season last year.
I don't know if he's gonna do the ape stuff anytime soon, but that team still has 2-time defending MVP.
But that was his coming out party there. It was him and those two on the court.
I get it. He's your Lamar Jackson of the NBA. I get
yes,
it. I get
and
it.
you have a problem with
No,
that?
I don't. I'm just saying. Okay.
Guy has one bad game.
We know how the other one's doing.
Another elite player.
Guy,
we know how the other elite
guy has
is.
one bad game, and you guys want to crucify him.
Okay.
Coach has an eye for elite players, believe it or
Yeah.
not.
Multiple bad games.
I'm a talent evaluator, sir.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
So basically, I would say I'm a homer. Heat win it all. Easy pick.
Wow. No.
Well,
He's a homer. He said it. He's
I
a
said
homer.
I'm a homer. Not to mention,
He's a homer.
if you're gonna be a homer, this is not a bad team to
No,
pick.
in all honesty, I think if we're having a
Look, everybody came back. A healthy Miami Heat team with everybody back. Usually, you need to add a few pieces here and there. I think we're fine. There's no need to gel. We're there. Everybody knows everybody. You just need to perform and get it done. That's it.
in a moment of clarity here, which I will provide. I do think that
Since when?
Can't wait for this one.
I do think that the Milwaukee Bucks come back with a vengeance this year. And I do think that they are a force to be reckoned with. And the Warriors may seem to be I'm just foreshadowing here a little bit. They might be a little complacent. And I think the Milwaukee Bucks come in.
I don't know about complacent.
They handle business.
I don't know about complacent. I do think that the whole situation with
I think
with
that's
Draymond,
nothing. I think that's nothing.
I mean, we'll see.
It just came out on, once again, video changes everything. These happen all the time. If we recall, Michael Jordan knocked out the coach of said team that just this happened to. It happens. I mean, not as violently as it is shown, but it happens. If you thought they were complacent, I think that woke them up. And they blew out the Lakers last night, which ain't nothing to say about because the Lakers are the Lakers right now. But still, it's the first game against LeBron and company, and they're healthy. So I still think the Warriors end up getting to.
Yeah, I think they're the cream of the crop. If they can stay healthy,
it might be the Bucks because I got them there playing the Heat. So it's going to be someone. You don't get surprised. You know, there's a 7 seed that might win here and there, but reality gets checked when it comes to the NBA Finals. You always get a top 1 or 2 seed, in my opinion.
Sounds good. I think that cleans it up for us today or this week, gentlemen. Be remiss.
I said I wanted to just mention
baseball.
The baseball that the Dodgers got knocked out. The team that led the league.
Yeah, no one cares. It's West Coast.
Oh, and you and
wait.
Go Yankees, baby!
You're Mr. Yankee, bro. You're Mr. Yankee.
Go Yankees!
Yeah, well, if you want to reach out to everybody, you're gonna have to reach out to the people on the West Coast too.
Yeah, I know. Go Yankees!
Your Yankees barely got there, so relax. They're about to lose to Houston. It should be a Houston, and right now Philly and
put
the Padres.
Put some respect on that name.
On what name? The Yankees.
All them. 27-time world champions.
Yeah,
Put some respect.
One time in the 2000s. Relax. Boston Red Sox have 4 to your 1.
Hater.
Relax.
27.
Listen, I don't care about baseball. You can't be fighting against a guy that hates baseball. You're gonna lose this every time. But your Yankees have lost countless times to the Astros, who own you. 6 straight.
There's no trash cans this year, Grizz. There's no trash cans.
Whether they cheat on you or they legitimately beat you, they beat you, they own you. Like Patriot used to say, "Oh my daddy."
Okay, cheat. They cheat. They cheat. But you just said they cheat. They cheat.
One time.
And we own Pedro Martinez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have Pedro Martinez.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They cheated.
Yeah.
Banging on garbage cans and stuff.
But against you guys specifically?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah?
in the
Against you guys
at
specifically?
ALCS, they were.
Yeah, you guys?
Yeah.
What
Yes.
happened? Little banging on trash cans couldn't get them?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Huh?
I'm sorry, sir, that we have a
happened?
commissioner.
What
that Major
happened?
League Baseball has a commissioner
What
with
happened?
no
Your
backbone
Yankees?
and doesn't
The mighty Yankees?
don't do them like
That
they should
buy
have
the
been
world?
done.
The buy
Everybody
the world?
hates the Astros.
Little Astros? I don't
We're
hate on
gonna
the
move
Astros.
on amicably.
I don't
from
hate on
this.
the Astros. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
You
Gotta love
You
'em.
ain't trying.
Yo, they
baby.
got a buzzer, Grizz. Come on.
Hey,
The guy had a
Bob.
buzzer under his jersey.
Baseball, you see, this is why I hate baseball. It's
It was
such,
it was a chest
it's
buzzer.
Such a,
Was it any
it's such
other
a
body part?
mundane
Was it anywhere
sport.
else?
You
Was
still
it-
gotta
was
hit
it-
balls.
was it a
That-
chest?
You
That's
gotta
chest. That's
pitch.
chest. That's chest.
Chest buzz?
No,
Okay.
no.
People used to
those
Just
buzzers-
asking because in chess, because
People
I think I
used
wasn't
to-
sure you were talking about the chess
people
player
used to put
with the
snot on
buzzer
their balls.
or
Chess-
the chest buzzer.
Come on, man.
The chess player had it in his rectum.
Okay,
Yeah.
No, but
but not the
that's
Astros.
a true story.
But not the Astros.
The Astros had he
On the
had it
chest,
on his
chest.
On his chest.
Okay.
You would think with
You
a
sure?
team named the
I'm glad we cleared that
Astros,
up. I'm glad
they should
we-
have it up their rectum.
Could be. Could be.
Their
They
name's
might
the
have. They
Astros.
might have.
Okay.
Right?
We're gonna get this back. This show. We're gonna close this out. It's gonna move on amicably. Okay. I'm going to. I want to notice our new sponsor, Prodigy Coaches, here for all of your tutoring needs. Contact them at prodigycoaches.com. Here to service you in person and online, all days of the week. Certified teachers only. Visit prodigycoaches.com for your tutoring needs. And also, General Carnitas Gourmet Meats. Okay? It is tailgate season. We're now getting into this weather where it's nice and cool. Okay? No
Nice,
better
nice,
time.
Nice time to barbecue.
No better time for
Cook
barbecue.
over the live
And the
fire.
holidays are coming. It's time to eat
right.
good food.
All sorts of quality premium meats. So we got 2 quality sponsors here. For us, gentlemen, that does it for us. 2 coaches. 1 Grizz. Out.